following program has been furnished and paid by Nathan P. Ross, CPA, and KSEV is not responsible for its content or the products or services offered.
You on the line with me? Or actually, you're in the studio today.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay.
I can. Very good.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. It's shaping up to be a nice day, it appears. Hey, thank you for coming in again today. And just like in the prior weeks, I want to remind people that we talk about a lot of different content. There's a lot going on today in the world of malicious and non-malicious hacking that you need to be aware of. It's amazing all the things we've got going on at one time in the cyber space, but there's a lot more than meets the eye occasionally, or unfortunately, I guess I should say, and anything we talk about should be simply information that you may or may not decide to engage a professional to further advise and assist, because let's face it, most of we lay people are not cut out to be doing operations or other settings in our deep into our systems, which is where these hacks often reside. Sometimes they're right up front, they're right in your face, and you may or may not realize what they are, which is kind of scary. But in any event, if you've got questions along that line, we had a couple calls this past week from small business folks, and I say small, if you're less than a couple thousand employees, you're a small company, and what we find is the lower down the count you go, the less likely the company has professionals in-house that, one, can keep up with all this information, and two, know what to do once they see it. And that's something that Mr. AI does all day, every day. And if you need help, let us know. Wynn, would you agree that you see that in your work with the companies that you're called on to serve?
Yes, so it's a common trend, but before I start, let's start with the disclaimers. These opinions expressed here are based on general trends and common insight related to cybersecurity and small businesses. They do not represent any legal advice, professional consulting, or exhaust analysis. Just want to make that clear.
Boy, almost as good as a lawyer. Maybe one of your lawyer clients wrote that for you.
Actually, like. I cut and pasted into my document this morning.
Okay. Well, I'll let you take over at this point, at least on the agenda. Why don't you explain what we're going to talk about today?
Well, we have a several agenda today, so I want to talk about, if time permit.
Okay.
One of them is talk about why small businesses are more frequent target cyber attacks. That's very common now than the bigger business, but you don't see a lot of people reporting it.
Yeah.
And another topic is about artificial intelligence and has the potential to impact the election. We got 31 days left. Right?
Yeah, true.
And also the drone and unmanned aerial vehicle, how dramatically transform in modern warfare, and Tesla and battery too. So those are the four topics I want to delve in today.
Okay.
Let's start with the why small business are more frequent target of cyber attacks. Okay, so let's start with this. you're telling me the more likely someone's going to try to hack you if you're small business. So that's kind of wild when you think about it. You think the opposite, right? Like those big corporations with all the money.
Well, yeah, but it's like Jesse James, the famous bank robber back in the day, said when they asked him why he robs banks, they didn't say large banks, and in large measure he robs small banks. And he replied with, "Well, that's where the money is." And so, just because you're small in number of employees doesn't mean you don't have significant financial resources or intangible, you know, assets. Right? That's a big deal in today's world, right?
So basically, like putting a big target on your back, like these cyber criminals, basically.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't just like a small study either. It's a report really digging into it. So this is what we find. That's huge because not the hacker on into in big company. It's that smaller business are just lower hanging fruit, basically.
Yeah.
So it sounds like
well, the having a target on your back is, I would say, just as common for the small company, but there's a lot more small companies. I mean, I see a different number every time I see people opine, but Ms. Harris, who's currently running for president, makes it sound like she's going to create, I don't know, you've seen the number, what is it, 5 million small businesses during if she wins her term? It's a big number, and that's on top of the ones we already have, right? So
those numbers they just throw it out. So we
know.
We can't even
they have no business literacy at all as a background in her or her running mate's case. They've never won. Neither of them run a small business. They have no clue. And in fact, I was just watching before we started on the air the Fox. Whatever their Sunday morning show is, and they played a clip yesterday that had Harris at some kind of event. Maybe it was an interview with one of the leading Latino small business people. And when Harris started spewing her incoherent adjectives, as she's wont to do, you should see the look on the face of that Latino small business leader. It was like, what are you talking about? So
the body language. The beauty about the body language, it never lies.
Yeah,
you
that's
can
true.
see it.
That's a very, very good point. Very good point. But
very deceptive. So your body will show everything that you said.
Yeah, true. Well, I'm curious, Win, because you see it probably a little bit from both sides. I don't know what the largest company is you've worked with, but do you see it's more likely or less likely that a small business might be targeted?
Well, the reason the small business are targeted because it's a weaker security infrastructure. That's number one, right?
Right.
Small business generally have fewer resources to invest in robust cybersecurity measure compared to a larger company. This makes them more vulnerable to attack as they might lack the necessary defense like advanced firewall, encryption, and intrusion detection system. And that's what I've seen, and that's what when people call in, and that's what I noticed for all my lifetime that I spent that I work with company. That's what I noticed, and a lot of them they're not well informed. They're not informed like a bigger company,
Yeah.
So they perceive as easy targets. Hacker often see small business as easy target because they less likely to have dedicated IT or, just like you said, a cybersecurity team monitoring their network.
Yeah,
this makes
true.
it easier for attacker to exploit weaknesses.
Well, and you could even stop it. They're less likely to have the requisite firewalls and other hardware that they can run the first-in-class software, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet we were talking this past week about how much CrowdStrike cost, and is surprisingly inexpensive at the per employee level. And I know that's one we've talked about in the past. We talked about one of the patches being improperly applied that caused a lot of heartache and dollars. What was it, Win? A month and a half ago? And that
would say
happens.
like, yeah.
Yeah, and that's better, by the way, than have a hacker living inside your system for an undetermined length of time, I would say. I mean,
Well,
it's not pretty.
Well,
But,
in
you know,
CrowdStrike case, it's a self-inflicted.
right,
But,
right.
but then again, it tell you how vulnerable we are. And another item too, that small businesses are smaller in scale. They still hold value data such as customer information, credit card details,
Right.
and proprietary business information. It's easier to hack the small business because the criminal know they can target small for this data, and it can be sold in the dark web and used for further crime like identity theft. It's easier with small
Sure,
business.
sure.
You know.
Yeah.
N-
And
now-
there's fertile fields out there. More fertile pastures, you might say.
Yeah. So the company that I dealing with, most of them are supply chains business, and supply chain vulnerabilities, as you can see all over the news. I mean, every day. Okay, small business are often part of a larger supply chain. By targeting them, the attacker can use them to entry point into larger corporations. Like cyber criminals exploit the weaker security of small businesses to gain access to large corporations they partner with. That's how you attack. You don't go to the front door, you go in the back door, to the weakest
Yeah.
link. And
Yeah.
that's how they get in. Okay? And it also ransomware opportunity too. That's another thing that one of the most devastating hacking performed by the hacker is the ransomware. The ransomware attack on small business are appealing to attacker because the smaller company are more likely to pay the ransom. That's the thing. I know some cases that people actually pay for them, and you realize once you pay them, they're on your back forever.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
we've talked about this before, and it seems like it's very difficult to ever perfectly close the door to the same group continuing to plague the small businesses. But in any event, based on what we read, it seems like small businesses are at least 3 times more likely to be targeted than the big companies that I guess you would call big.
Because they have lack of backup system and disaster recovery plan. That's another thing too.
Yeah. Well, and they're just it's not that the hackers aren't interested in the big companies. It's just the smaller companies are easier. It's what we would call low-hanging fruit or
Yep.
lower-hanging fruit.
Yep.
So,
So size does
Anyway.
matter, I guess.
yeah, it sure
So what-
seems to.
Right. So now another thing too, your best defense on ransomware backup system. And the first thing the bad guy does, they disable your backup system. And bigger company they have backup system, but small company, if you ask around, a lot of them they don't even have it. They don't even have a plan. You know what? Forget small company. Even some big company don't even have a plan. They look at the backup system once. I mean, disaster recovery plan once a year. You know. Yeah.
Check the box for an insurance company or somebody.
Yep,
And,
but-
you kind of count on Amazon and Google, big cloud hosting companies. My gosh, I mean, if they ever do have just a catastrophic where they get wiped out,
Exactly.
that's going to be a bad news.
So and another thing too is automation of attack. Okay, when I say automation attack, is attackers often use automated tools and scripts to scan for vulnerabilities. And these tools do not discriminate between large or small businesses, meaning small businesses often fall victim to the broad because indiscriminate attack and exploit common vulnerability. They're easier, you know. So that's one other thing that when I talk to the communities, I said, if you don't have an IT person, you need to get them, or at least get some backup. That's your best defense. Backup.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that means you check your backups occasionally and make sure they work, or you make sure you're backing up. There's some software I know in the accounting world we have the need typically to do a full backup, not just an incremental, give us the files that change today type backup, because that's problematic when you have to restore and you're getting pieces here and pieces there. You really need to do a full, complete backup of that data drive or that data repository. And there's other applications too. It's not just accounting software, but the really, really sophisticated backup softwares can do incremental backups pretty well. But I tell you, it never ceases to fail. There's some issue with a couple files that just didn't make the latest execution of the backup.
So here's is the solutions. Okay, just a common thing, just in the bullet point. Invest in the basic cybersecurity tools like antivirus, right, and encryptions, and the regular software update and patching. That's number 2. And use strong, unique password. And you know what I noticed? A lot of people using the same password for everything, all their like their website, their bankings, and their email, same password.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though you increase it to like 12 character, but you're using the same password. If they get lucky, with the password, they can access the entire everything. And another thing too, train yourself, or small company, educate and train your employees. Conduct a regular cybersecurity training. Educate employees or identify phishing attack. That's how you do it. Huh?
Yeah, true. And I know in most small companies, everyone feels like they're stretched already, right? Just trying to get through the day with whatever role they play. And so it's just absolute combination of all the wrong variables, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you're as I heard it described once, it's when you're up against a hack or a ransom attack, small companies like showing up at a sword fight with a rusty spoon, quote unquote. You're not ready to do battle, and you're not in the business of doing battle like they are. And that's why you've got to either have someone in-house dedicated. I wouldn't say dedicated necessarily to fix this kind of stuff but dedicated to knowing when there's a problem, or the fact that, hey, we don't have certain protections that we need. And it may not be that party that's going to install or otherwise execute, but at least there's someone who's pretty much full-time occupying their time with checking and monitoring and looking for things that maybe don't feel right or look right.
You know what? By the end of the day, you can expect everybody to be cybersecurity, right?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, you mentioned the cloud service. Nowadays, you can not even trust your provider. You don't even know if they have strong security. You cannot rely everything on them now. I'm telling you, I've seen the cloud service are being attacked now. So if they go for if they attack Microsoft or AWS,
that's Amazon's.
I would not even rule out the
service,
possibility. I'm telling you this right now.
Yeah.
So it evolved.
Clarify, AWS is the Amazon cloud platform, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And but right now they're very strong. I mean, I kind of picked them over Microsoft, but in the future you don't know because it evolved. I'm telling you, the AI and hacker using AI to leverage the AI. That's very powerful tools, and they can change on the fly.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I've noticed, and this is something that I don't hear discussed much, but I know I was looking at a CRM system once I was thinking about, and I noticed there were some reviews and comments online, and apparently there's more than a few applications, and this isn't just in the CRM world, so you got to look at everything you use, where encryption might exist up to the point of your data going into a given host, but within the hosting company, there's no encryption. So somebody working there or otherwise that's gained access to their files would have the ability to see data. And that's something that most people, we just assume that, hey, if we're dealing with an online, a known brand, and this was a big brand, this wasn't some little small company, you had some exposure. Now, whether or not in reality you were dealing with bad actors, I don't know, but how would you ever know, right? I'd rather know that I've got encryption and bet my money on that working instead of the fact that you're always going to have good people with integrity that has access to your data. Hey, Win, let's do this. We went about 5 minutes past our normal break time. Let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll circle back here momentarily.
Okay. Sound great?
Yeah, we'll be back momentarily with more of this week's Cybersecurity Sunday Be a Planner Show.
BeAPlanner.com wants to ask you, when's the last time your tax pro called with a way to save you taxes? Seriously, do you want to work with a planner or a reporter? A planner knows which tax code sections are the best wealth accumulation tools. Less tax, more profit. Learn more at BeAPlanner.com. The Be a Planner Show with Nathan Ross.
Hey, if you'd like to contact Nathan for questions during the show today or during the week, you can text him at 713-581-0195. 713-581-0195. Or you can send an email to nathan@npross.com. nathan@npross.com.
Have you recently joined a real estate mentor program? BeAPlanner.com shows how real estate investments combined with proactive tax planning can generate significant wealth. However, syndication terms for private real estate partnerships are complicated. They help you assess the benefits of ownership from A, acquisition to E, exit. A planner wants to know what they are signing up for. BeAPlanner.com with CPA Nathan Ross. BeAPlanner.com.
Like the song, Bobby McGee. I'm just longing to be free. Take me where I want to be. Big dreams and faded dreams. And there are many just like me with big dreams and faded dreams.
Be a Planner Show with Nathan Ross, CPA, and my guest on this Cybersecurity Sunday show, Mr. AI Win. So, Win, we've been talking about another cybersecurity facet, which is a focus on small businesses. Small businesses are, according to some estimates, 3 times as likely to be hacked than large companies, and we've been discussing those reasons. I mean, they're an easier target, number one. And what else would you say, Win, if you were just looking at the top couple or 3 items? What makes them so vulnerable?
Well, because they are smaller and they don't have the security like the software that they're supposed to security tools, right?
And how about the professional acumen? Are they lacking, or do they typically have?
Lacking of awareness. Many small
Yeah.
businesses lack a cybersecurity awareness. They might underestimate their attractiveness as target, or they think they're too small to be noticed by cyber criminals.
Yeah.
This misconception leads to inadequate security protocols, and that's what I see the most. But most of the number one reason is a weaker security infrastructure.
And it's not always obvious, is it?
Right. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk to the next topic.
Okay.
Okay. So the next topic I want to talk about is how artificial intelligence has potential to impact the election. And this is a double-edged sword. Okay. So I just want to start out to say that imagine that you have the election campaign that's so smart that you know exactly what to say to people and how to get their vote and for their candidate. You're using AI.
That's never happened, has it?
Well, now you're going to see, if you look at the other day, right, a candidate depend on the on the screen, right, what to say and not to say, the teleprompter.
Right.
And what happened when it shut down? They go
Yeah.
blank, right?
All heck breaks out.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Now imagine if you use the AI and with a teleprompter, and be able to. This sounds like a futuristic, come from the movie, okay? Like you know exactly closer. Think about the AI in the election, like how does it know, right? Like you can predict and you know what your constituency wants. You target the campaign. AI can analyze mass amount of data to identify key voter, and I'm talking about in terms of demographics. And imagine you use to tailor that message specifically to those groups, and you use an AI. You know what they want. You know what people want, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
misinformation is what I'm worried.
This topic is really
sensitive. Yeah.
Well, and it's scary. I mean, I know I've got friends that don't think their vote matters in these elections, and boy, with AI, it really could be true. I mean, how do we know? I mean, again, I've often questioned, how is it that in today's times we don't have a way, when there's no way you or I or any other American can confirm from the point they made voting choices in a voting booth, or that I may have FedEx or otherwise provided my mail-in ballot to the whoever it is that gets it here in Bexar County. There's no way I can go. It's not like, we can log into our IRS.gov account and see exactly who's paid us. From payors, we can see all the information between IRS and our filings. And why is it that we cannot confirm my vote and your vote? It's insane. And it makes you think that there's parties, and they may be on both sides of the aisle, that don't want you to be able to confirm that. I mean, but then you add, and this is all before AI was even an issue. Now with AI, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a good thing, because maybe whoever they are no longer in control over, how votes get counted and ascribed. But I don't know. I'm sure you're going to enlighten us on some of the other issues that AI adds to the table, but it's kind of scary.
Well, think about this. AI can help medicals, right? And let me tell you, like for research, for example, AI can help in the medical field in researching, get the data faster, get the information, get the result faster. It can do the same thing with elections. It using bot and AI-driven platform. You interact with voters, right? You answer the question in real time. And with that, you provide personal information and polling location. Think about all those stuff, that they can understand the voter better, right?
Yeah.
And you can focus on the campaign, what the message out there is, right? But the issue that I'm worried about is election security. AI can use to enhance security of electronic voting system by detecting and respond to threats. Like the other day, they found out somewhere in Pennsylvania, like this person, they voted 4 times 4 people, they voted 3 times.
Yeah,
So-
well, that's nothing new. That's AI is not the first one to think of that, right?
But they somehow they picked it up.
yeah,
You know, somehow it can pick it up. So I think the software today, you can see the pattern because it's so fast. Think about this. If they detect a person with the same social security vote across the board like 3 to 5 times, it would recognize it. And I'm telling you that one of the software that they use today, have you ever heard of Palantir?
Palantir. Yeah,
So that helped the government use that for analyze stuff like that's like AI. That's another AI data mining. They use
Well,
it in the military.
you know, it would seem to me that there ought to be some way, just like when you see this all the time, where you get a confirmation or an OTP, you get some sort of authentication. In some cases, like Google, I know you and I both use two-factor, and other companies, not just Google. Why don't we have that for voting? It makes no sense. It just makes no sense. And it's the most important interaction between citizen and government that we have in the way we run a democracy, right? But
You need an
anyway.
ID for everything, but now they don't want it voting without ID. And-
Right. That's the most
it-
insane thing. I mean,
doesn't make
again,
sense
it's
to
the
me.
most important thing that we do. And for some reason, you'll have it to file your tax returns and pay your taxes. You're going to have, they're going to verify you 19 ways till Sunday, right? But not for voting. And I don't know. I don't know that it's affected us so far, but I suspect it has somewhere in our recent past. And this year is it's going to be real interesting to see
Well, I
what the
think
results are.
I think the software today that we have provided by this company, another company like IBM Watson's and Google, I think we'd be able to find the flag effect votings and misinformation spread online. I think it will help. But
Yeah.
my concern is not that. My concern is some people, they are paid to vote.
Right.
That's my concern.
Right.
Like, there's the people out there
Right.
that go, a few years ago, there's the people that knock on my door, say, "Are you voting? We can help you." They go around, and how do you know they don't pay those people to
Harvesting.
vote?
They're
Yeah,
harvesting your ballots.
So, but
Well, I could see you being able to use AI to analyze the massive, massive amounts of data
yeah,
that exist in the voting timeline. Like, whenever early voting starts all the way through to the last day, and they could figure out, well, here's all the people that are registered to vote. Here's the ones that have actually voted or
voted
likely
for
to have
and
voted.
voted for, right? What they want.
Right.
What is the
Right.
key, the key point that people want? So if you can use AI to analyze that, you can know. Imagine have the power to know what people want, what people
Yeah.
want to hear. They can do that, and AI can do that, right? And by using that, you focus on your message, right? So
Well, or if you're a really, really bad actor, you could vote for them or help harvest ballots for them, right? You'd
Then-
know which doors to knock on, like your case in point, right?
the one I'm worrying about too is the manipulation and ethics issue. Okay, and when I say manipulation, I'm talking about, you heard of, we talked about it before, deep fakes and synthetic media.
Uh-huh.
Like you create a fake audio and video clips, and you can use AI to do all that, right? To manipulate public opinion or smear the candidate.
And it's no longer that monotone computer voice. It's a voice that sounds familiar, sounds polished.
If
And-
they can create, like hacker can use your voice and your
Right.
face and make a video of you saying something like to the point that spread information, right? They're using your voice and your face to create hey, this guy is a racist and he says something like blah blah and so forth. Like it looked like him, walk like him, it must be him, right? That is my major concern that AI can do.
Well, what do you make of? I've seen some reports that say that AI could really be a sort of digital bodyguard with respect to election security. How do you assess that? I mean, are precincts down at that level, or states using AI for that purpose, or is this all just conjecture on what might be able to do?
You know what? I really don't have opinion on that one. It's hard to say. There's so many answers and so many questions, right? And nowadays we don't even know for sure. We don't even know don't even know information.
Yeah.
But what I'm concerned more is the ethic concern that the use of AI election raised ethical question around the private and potential of how they influence behavior of the voter.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I keep talking about deepfake because right now it's happening, right? Like the other day they showed the video of this person saying things like that, and he's a candidate. But are you sure you know who he is? People are not aware. People are not aware. They don't have the knowledge. They think so.
It's like the worst combination of all possible variables when you look at our our voting public. I was just thinking, and if you take this far enough and you say, well, we've got good guys and bad guys. Well, it's intelligence, and then what about counterintelligence?
Right.
You could play this on out several steps, and it's potentially just a disaster.
So, I talk about the problem. Now let's talk about solutions. And here, what I can lay out the solution that I think it might help, right? To preventing a negative impact of artificial intelligence on the election, while harnessing the benefit of it. Okay, the thing that you need to do first, establishing regulatory framework. Okay, legislation number one, legislation and oversight, low tech, high yield. Okay, auditing and accountability, just like that county just did. They found before, there was early voting, and they found these people who worked in the election. She voted 3 times.
Jeez.
3 times.
One of
and
the
4 of them.
precinct workers.
Yes.
Saying.
They vote 3 times. They caught 4 of them. That is auditing and accountability.
And
that's
just
check
one,
and balance.
Well, and that's just one case. I mean, I'm sure there's
they will catch
many,
more.
many more. Yeah,
they
for
will
those,
catch many, many, many more. Okay,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, AI with its amount of data it analyzed, they will find. They can do very quickly. Okay, so that's number one. Establish regulatory framework. That's legislation and oversight and auditing and accountability. Number 2, enhance cybersecurity measure. What does that mean, right? You probably say, well, secured AI deployments. What does that mean? Well, use AI to increase cybersecurity defense in the election system. AI can detect unusual pattern and suggest tampering with. Believe it or not, you can use AI for that. Or if any breaches, like if somebody tried to hack that voting machine, AI can this proper security, you can prevent that.
Yeah.
Okay. And another thing with that bullet point is public and private partnership. Encourage collaboration between government and the tech company to develop a more secure voting technology, established with ethical use. I'm telling you, they're going to create a more powerful voting system in the near future, that they can have all this information built in. So I am a big fan of AI, and it's a double-edged sword, but you can use it for good.
Well, it is, and it's only as good as the information we give it to build its knowledge base and make its determinations.
Right.
And there's ways that it can be influenced that I can't truly forecast, but I'm just telling you, we haven't seen the end of bad outcomes from the use of
well, this year I want to see
for
it.
voting.
So this year I want to see how the outcome going to go, because I'm pretty sure they have some kind of tool, AI detection tool, to detect deepfake and media misinformations. So that's my point number 3 with combating misinformations. And you can use this tool to help social media platform, like you think about Facebook and Twitters and such, right? So you don't depend on the company like Twitter's or Facebook's or or Google to you do your own the check and balance, right? So those are called AI detection tools. So these are the things. That's why I want to see this, especially this year. I want to see how the election performs, and we'll see how.
Well, and not to sound too political, but good old common sense, I think, can go a long way. And I back up to the 2020 election, and I see how that, without me taking a side, I see how the media likes to think the MAGA folks are just they're unwilling to say the election wasn't rigged, and yet I look at how Mr. Biden only came out of the basement about 3 times and had maybe 10 or a dozen people show up at rallies, and you're telling me that could garner 80 million votes? I'd say the media is the one that's
the media is. So that's my concern too.
And yet, this is the way. I mean, in my mind, AI could be used to create that sort of outcome. And the way we're set up now, you can't. You can't get judges to. People like to say, well, the judges looked at all that evidence and said no, it did. No, they didn't. They rejected in almost every case. There was either a timing issue, or there was. I forget what they call it when you say someone doesn't have status to sue. So they would the judges were good at throwing things out. But I don't know. I think some of the state legislatures have cleaned up, a lot of state systems, and let's just hope that this time there's some, accountability on the outcomes, where if we have, I keep waiting for the day when we have more votes cast than we have people in the U.S., then maybe the media will understand what the uproar is about. Hey, Win, we've got about 10 minutes left. Let's take our last break, and we'll come back momentarily with the final segment.
Okay. You got it. Thanks.
I was gonna be rich no matter how much it cost. And I was gonna win no matter how much I lost. Grindstones and rhinestones have made up my life, but I shine like a diamond through sacrifice. I was gonna be rich no matter how much it cost. I was gonna win no matter how much I lost. But I hope that you'll tell me, well done, my child. You've won your reward through your sacrifice. Your
Did you know 76% of Americans are concerned they won't have a secure retirement? BeAPlanner.com shows how private real estate partnerships can increase current cash flow and retirement savings. There are 3 options to control your 401 and IRAs, but only one will double your retirement lifestyle. BeAPlanner.com for the Be a Planner Show with CPA Nathan Ross.
Hey, if you'd like to contact Nathan for questions during the show today or during the week, you can text him at 713-581-0195, 713-581-0195, or you can send an email to nathan@npross.com, nathan@npross.com.
Have you recently joined a real estate mentor program? BeAPlanner.com shows how real estate investments combined with proactive tax planning can generate significant wealth. However, syndication terms for private real estate partnerships are complicated. They help you assess the benefits of ownership from A, acquisition to E, exit. A planner wants to know what they are signing up for. BeAPlanner.com with CPA Nathan Ross. BeAPlanner.com.
Is it easy? No, it ain't. Can I fix it? No, I can't. But I sure ain't gonna take it lying down. Will I make it? Maybe so. Will I give up? Oh no. I'll be fighting till I'm 6 feet underground. I'm gonna woman up and take it like a man. I'm gonna buckle up, be tough enough to take control and make demands. Look like a woman, think like a man, be as good as or better than. Gotta woman up and take it like a man.
Okay, welcome back to the final segment of this week's Be a Planner show with Nathan Ross, CPA, and my special guest this weekend on our Cybersecurity Sunday show, Mr. AI Wynn. And Wynn, how do folks connect with you if they want to discuss more? You want to have them connect through our text system, and then
Yeah,
I
just
can,
just the text system. That would be
so,
fine.
so that number, if you want to text us, is 713-581-0195. Well, we've been discussing assorted topics within the world of artificial intelligence, and more specifically, we've talked about why small companies, according to some estimates, are hacked, or at least attempted to be hacked, at least 3 times the rate of large ones. And then we've also just concluded a segment on how AI can be used, or may be used, I should say, to influence our elections. When? What's next?
Well, and just another topic that's kind of not too far from a sci-fi movies.
Uh-huh.
So I want to talk about the drones.
Okay.
Drones or unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV per se, have
Uh-huh.
dramatically transformed the modern warfare. So what interesting is 7 days ago, I don't know if you watched this, but in Shenzhen, they broke the record. The event featured...
And when, for our listeners, explain, most people don't know what Shenzhen? Is that
No,
what you
no.
call it?
Shenzhen is
Shenzhen.
a city of in China.
In China, okay.
And
so
they
it's
just,
China, and it's probably military related, even though they may not say that. But
So this
what were they doing?
They were displaying part of the National Day celebration in a showcase of Shenzhen technology. Shenzhen is like a Silicon Valley of the U.S.
Oh, okay.
Think
I
about
got
that,
you.
right?
I got you.
So 7 days ago, September 26th, the event featured 10,000 drones flying simultaneously and creating the intricate pattern and imaging the sky. I'm talking about high resolution pictures and video above the sky.
Wow.
They did that a few years ago, but this one they perfected. I have never seen anything like this before. Okay, so what did that tell you? The drone had formed a scene. It changed everything. You're talking about is how is the impact in the military? What is it used for? Like, look what happened in Ukraine right now. Right?
Uh-huh.
They use drone to substitute humans, right, to attack targets, high precision coordinations. And you're talking about those drones, they fly in 10,000 of them. They make a picture, a photo out of it. Look how accurate it is.
Yeah, it's
Like
kind of like
real-time
our-
control.
it's
Real-time
kinda-
control.
It's
You
kind
know?
of like our version of the Blue Angels, only there's no men or women in the drone like there are in the jets that
So,
fly.
so do you see the danger? I mean, it's good, but it's also bad. You can use the drone for maybe for delivery stuff, just like Amazon's working
Yeah.
on a delivery system.
Yeah.
But
By the way, speaking of Amazon, that's a real good example, and you're probably up on this topic more than most. I know Amazon's talked about using drones. Has that actually happened? Are they actually using drones to deliver stuff now?
No, I have not seen it, but in the U.S. you have to comply. You got a lot of red tape, but in China they're already doing it already. Especially,
Well, and how would Amazon? I mean, again, I've just seen passing references to it, and I kind of set it to the side until I have a package show up with one. I'm not going to worry about it, but Is that a scenario where maybe an Amazon delivery person is going to a certain part of town or a certain neighborhood? Maybe they've got 6 people that live in that general neighborhood that had ordered something, and then they're executing a drone or 6 drone. It's the last mile, so to speak, because you've got battery issues, you've got all sorts of issues, and if a driver's got 110 stops to make today, that's a lot of drones, or it's some really fast charging batteries. One of the two.
Well,
right?
you can. I guess when they're talking about it, it's just like how you call it. They give a premium service, right? If you want your packet right away.
Oh, I see. So they'll be adding some
It's,
charges
it's
to it.
just like the air versus ground,
Yeah.
right?
What's the realistic expectation on weight? Like, how much can a drone? Like, you've got a drone, and I know you were saying yours is what'd you say, 4, 5, 6 years old? So things have changed, but right now, can I have a drone deliver? I don't see how it could deliver a 50-pound package, right? I mean, you're talking about like maybe a small book size or iPhone case.
Did you see the one in China in Shenzhen? They can carry people.
Oh my gosh!
So the answer
That's
is yes.
incredible.
So they can
Wow.
deliver up to 50 to 100 pounds easily.
Wow.
I'm talking about
Wow.
that huge. What you
That's
see
crazy.
when you talk about drone, there are several level of drone, right?
Huh.
The big one that you actually sit on, not, but instead of have people, you have computers,
Yeah.
and more accurate, and they fly faster, better than human, and they don't make
Huh.
mistake like human do, right? And
That's
it can fly
crazy.
24/7. But
Yeah.
there's another one that just like an hour, 2 hour, they just like 5 pounds, they just easily, like within the city, I don't see an issue. They can
Yeah.
go on top of the building, think about this, and deliver on top of the building.
Yeah. True.
So
So instead of Whole Foods Amazon counters, you could have Chase Bank Tower Amazon
it's
drop off,
it's,
right?
it's getting there. So right now, what I
Yeah.
notice is that the government already implement called the remote ID. So
Uh-huh.
it's starting. That means they separate between commercial and recreation.
Oh, I see.
So
Huh.
now they are prepared because I think eventually only a few people like FedEx, Amazon, and the big company can do it, but not us.
Yeah, right.
Because
'Cause of the
imagine everybody doing it.
congestion. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Imagine everybody doing it. That's
Yeah,
why.
sure.
You know, the other day when I flew my drone, it would not let me fly. Let me tell you what happened.
Hey,
First-
Wim, we've got about 30 seconds left.
30
so
seconds?
go ahead.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It will not let me fly until it registered me to the Big Brothers remote
Huh.
ID. And the moment it registered,